What is up, all? Happy Thursday here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratanudo at Diablo00 is where you can find me on Twitter and the show, as well as Facebook and YouTube. I know Pitchfork Lunchers, you know this. You know this. If you go to the YouTube, my YouTube, at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. Why do that, you ask? Because you can get all the shows are all there. Anything you've missed, interviews, which there's been quite a bit of, as you know. Well, yes, you do know. But if you don't know, there's been quite a few of, and very good ones as well. So, yes, we have interviews. We have the shows, interviews, coaches, players, insiders, voice of the Sun Devils, everything. So go to the YouTube channel, subscribe at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 at MVC005. Subscribe. Pitchfork Lunchers. So today we will be talking a little bit of volleyball, huge matchups. Obviously, the Oregon schools coming to town Friday and Sunday. Also, the Ducks coming here on Saturday for football. But for volleyball, again, need a little bit of revenge against Oregon State as they come into the inferno, as we say. And they come into the inferno, and that, my friends, is absolutely awesome because we need a little bit of revenge on Oregon State. But first, number 5, Oregon. Well, they're number 6 now. They were number 5 when we beat them last time. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself there. But If they can, again, beat Oregon, who they play first, who is number 6 now. Did I say that right? Because they were they were 5 when, of course, yes, I told you that. You know that they were 5 when we beat them in Eugene after coming off that 5-set loss to the Beavers. Yeah, they're number 6 right now. So yes, number 6 Oregon still left on ASU's schedule, and also number 11 Washington State. But again, can't get too far. So that being said, again, both matches at Desert Financial Arena. Get out there. You need to get out there. It will be. I mean, look, when you talk postseason, again, it's not even about, well, it's 100,000,000% about, yes, getting there, playing well as you're going in. But these big wins in the early rounds put you home. And it's a great home court advantage when you're undefeated. So, yes, come on, 50th anniversary of volleyball for ASU fans. I mean, again, I can't tell you enough how awesome it is, and how just watching this team play against whoever, but obviously in these conference matchups, just absolutely huge. But it leads to home tournament games, and that's the thing. Like you definitely, I mean, it's again, and the teams you can be facing, you want to, but is this team road tested? Yeah, we know that from out of well, obviously conference play, but non-conference play, as we've talked about. Yeah, like I said, non-conference play, as we've talked about. And look, I mean, they spent that first month on the road. Yes, now in conference play, they've obviously gone on the road and done very well too. You don't get to 22-4 without doing very, very well. But 8-0 at home, 8-0 at home, and it's. But again, you know, we all always. It's not even FOMO, and ain't fear of missing out. It's saying you were there after the fact when you weren't. Come on, no. All kidding aside, though, but look, this team, the way they've played, absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, just how they've handled, you know, challenges, adversity, you know, bouncing back after losses. And it's one of those things where when we look at it, it's awesome to the fact that, yeah, again, you don't want to have to, you know, go through losses, but it's also the fact that they've been able to build so much momentum in a sport. So yeah, it's kind of sport and short in a sport where I've talking to players, short-term memory is such a big thing. Like you can't hang your head after, you know, if you make a mistake, a bad play, because all of a sudden, you know, you hang your head and you blink your eyes and, you know, the other team's scored 4 or 5 points on you just like that. So, but just the way they play, the energy they play with and how they're playing is just absolutely beautiful. So I'm telling you, you need to get out there tomorrow night, and the game is I want to say 7:00 at Desert. It is a Desert Financial. We all know that. It is a Desert Financial Arena, and but I want to make sure it is 7:00 here, not 6, because you know me. I've unfortunately at times, may have been an hour off, and we don't change time here. And I can handle changing a clock. I'm not one of those, but yeah, Arizona doesn't move clocks. But yes, 6 p.m. Sorry. Again, I was wrong. An hour late. I don't want to get you there an hour later. Should have said 5, so you'll be there way in enough time. No, 6:00 tomorrow night, November 17th. And it's a Maroon Monsoon night. So you should definitely get out there for that. It'll be on the ASU live stream too. If you can't make it out, I understand. But man, number 6 Oregon rolling through town. We beat them when they were number 5. We need to beat them when they were number 6. And if they do sweep them twice, I'm sorry. They need to just jump them in the right now. That's not how it works. Believe me, you guys know how I feel. That's a little, sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek there, because you guys know me. I am not that person. And it's it's one of those things where it'll definitely help them. But then how do you respond against Oregon State, which is senior day, by the way? Senior day. Got to get out there on Sunday. Honoring the seniors, which, again, as they've battled, and not even this season, but obviously their time here, whether it's, been a little bit shorter or longer, it doesn't matter. They are here, and it is senior day on a Sunday. That match is at 12 noon, of course, at Desert Financial Arena, and it'll be on the Pac-12 network, so you can check it out. Again, you have a great weekend. Men's hoops tonight, by the way. They play UMass Lowell at Desert Financial Arena. Get to that in a teeny bit. But and then we have volleyball and hockey both tomorrow, and then football on Saturday, and then volleyball and hockey both on Sunday as well. Sun Devil Nation, get on out. Forks up. Let's go. Again, a lot to be excited about, and it's always fun when to see what you can do against these ranked teams. Obviously, the Oregon Ducks come in football as well as the number 6, the 6th ranked team in the country in the college football playoff rankings, but yeah, they were also the same in the AP. So yeah, just an insanely awesome weekend here for you in Sun Devil Country. But again, get on out there tomorrow night. JJ Van Niel, by the way, will be a guest on the show tomorrow. We got Coach back, which is so awesome. Very stoked to talk to him about this, and from our first conversation, where the team has come. But yeah, I mean, look, I can't crazy break down X's and O's, and a lot of I've called a lot of volleyball and understanding it, but man, just the way that. And I got to talk to him about that even more. I mean, just in-match adjustments, because you watch a team on tape, you get ready for them, and you're seeing what they're doing. But if they tweak something, and nobody's had an answer on what so far for this just dominating service game from the women at the service line, which is, again, 188 aces on the season, and they could end this weekend. It might take a little bit to get 200 against these, but it's not out of the realm of possibility with this team. So yeah, so looking forward to talking to Coach Van Niel. Again, he was the first coach, so definitely want to pay homage to Coach. But yeah, just again, a great season, and he again, we'll get into it tomorrow, but he will be a guest on the show tomorrow. Like I said, men's hoops tonight at Desert Financial Arena, and they are 1-1. Again, lost in Chicago in the Barcelona Invitational, Mississippi State, 71-56. Turned around and beat Texas Southern, 63-52, but had control of that game pretty much the whole way. But, still some early growing pains. And we're going to hear from Coach Hurley today. He sat down with media yesterday and in the afternoon. So I will bring that to you again. Great again, just insight on like what this team has done. Obviously very excited preseason, and yes, getting to play in when they went to Europe and, when they were in Greece and France over the summer, which was phenomenal, is good. And then, yes, we talked about adding Jose Perez to the team a little bit late, but nonetheless, a very, very talented player. And now it just comes to, building that game chemistry. And I actually did ask him about that. But yeah, I will bring you Coach Hurley from yesterday. But they take on UMass Lowell tonight, 7 p.m., Desert Financial Arena. And it is on the Pac-12 networks and also on radio on 98.7. Again, definitely suggest getting out there if you can. And yeah, I mean, this team is going to be very exciting. I am, again, just the way, and he talked about, guys he brought in and, the length of the season. I've already showed it to you. We talked about that when he had his, after the first day of practice. So yes, UMass Lowell. And then on Thanksgiving, they actually play BYU. And that is going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning, local time here. It's on ESPN2. So yes, you'll be able to check that out. But yeah, they play BYU, and then Friday, depends on obviously the outcome of that game, but they will play Friday at some time, but also on ESPN2. So just a heads up for the next week. And then they have, they got some team. They got Sam Houston State coming here, San Francisco looking to avenge that loss from last year. And then SMU comes to town on December 6th. And then, December 9th, they're at USD. They take on San Diego there. And then in Texas, in Fort Worth, they're going to be playing TCU again, rematch from the tournament. And then December 20th, they take on Northwestern at the Jerry Colangelo Hall of Fame series. And then that's December 20th. And then the 29th, they start conference play in the Bay Area. The last time, ripping through Pac-12 schedule, Pac-12 as we know it, but they are at Stanford on the 29th and then at Cal on New Year's Eve. So yeah, we will, that's, just a little bit of the upcoming schedule, but yes, tonight, UMass Lowell, 7 p.m. and UMass Lowell just beat Georgia Tech, by the way. So for fans thinking, in this day and age, look, transfer portal, one and dones, talent, basketball more so than football. And again, not that there's not obviously a lot of great talent in football, but a team can, be a lower end Division I team, but all of a sudden, again, with basketball, like I said, a transfer portal, guys are staying at those schools longer, developing. So yeah, they just beat Georgia Tech. So we'll hear from Coach Hurley coming up on the hockey side. I know I mentioned to you that they're playing Alaska Anchorage this weekend here at Mullet Arena, where they are 7-1-0. Let's go Devils. Love what Coach Powers is doing. Again, can't wait to efforting. We can't wait to catch up with Coach Powers. They do take on, like I said, Alaska Anchorage Friday. That is tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'll remind you again tomorrow at Mullet Arena. It's on the ASU live stream. And then same thing Sunday at 1 o'clock. They take on Alaska Anchorage on Sunday at 1 p.m. also on the ASU live stream. So, like I said, a great weekend, and coming off, like I said, that split with the number 2 team in the country, Denver. They won 6-5 in overtime on Friday, and then on Saturday it was 8-4. ASU was up, but again, the number 2 team in the country, they're going to make adjustments, and they had that sour taste in their mouth from Friday night, which again, you get to avenge quickly. That's what I say. A lot of times you want to get back on the field, you want to get back on the ice, anything. But it is one of those things where it is one of those things where, when you want to get back on the, ice, field, court, whatever, right away, the pitch, sometimes you need time to make adjustments, which again, I'm sure they did. I was talking to them, but of course the goals started flying, and you're not number 2 in the country, even though it's early, but still that program at Denver has been very, very good. So very stoked for that team. Again, Alaska Anchorage coming up this week. And then next week on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, they take on Providence. The Friars are in town Friday and Sunday, and that is number 7. They are number 7 in the country. So again, number 2's here, number 7's here. Yeah, this team's, again, making a push to grow. Yes, you need to get wins to overstate the obvious. We all know that. Pitchfork lunchers, but come on, like Coach Powers and his team, like they again love his schedule. And they're hosting, by the way, the Desert Hockey Classic, where Omaha, UMass Lowell, mentioning UMass Lowell, Omaha, Omaha, UMass Lowell, Harvard, and the Devils are playing and getting Harvard out here too. That's just awesome. So that is, by the way, get it on your calendars, January 5th and 6th, Friday and Saturday. Games, same times each day, 3:30, Mountain Standard Time, Arizona local time in Arizona, but 3:30, first game on Friday, 7 o'clock, the second game on Friday, then Saturday, same thing, 3:30 and 7 p.m. So get that on your calendars, January 5th and 6th at Mullet Arena. And that is coming up. So yeah, again, can't wait to start again, talking more, as we get into hockey, but look, like I said, basketball as well too. Women's hoops, again, Natasha Adair, team starting out 3-0. Gotta love it. Gonna reach out, and maybe not next week. Next week's a short week, so I do have some stuff coming for you. And I say short week just because of the Thanksgiving holiday. So yeah, it took me a second to realize that when I put out some emails, but hey, better late than never to the party, right? Especially when you're like, why is it a challenge next week? Duh. Anyway, I'm a turkey too. Nonetheless, but yeah, but with women's hoops, real quick, by the way, too, because that's going on. They are 3-0. Yes, they are 3-0. Gotta love it. And they beat UTSA 70-55, then beat Montana State 75-62. Got to see that. And then San Francisco on Monday, 77-69. They went on some big runs. And, again, they're 3-0, and now they head to Louisiana, which that's tonight. Is that tonight? Yes, that is tonight. They're in Louisiana, not heading. They are in Louisiana, sorry, for the Pac-12 SWAC Legacy Series. And they are taking on Grambling State in Louisiana. So it's going to be on ESPN Plus. If you have it, again, I suggest checking it out. And then Sunday, they return home to take on Idaho State, and that's at 6 p.m. Local time here in Arizona. And then for Thanksgiving, they get to spend their Thanksgiving in the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam, where they will take on Texas on Thursday, South Florida on Friday, and High Point on Saturday, like I said. So hopefully you had your trips planned. If it's a last-minute trip you're thinking of, I couldn't think of a better thing. The Virgin Islands and Sun Devil Hoops. Sun Devil Women's Hoops, absolutely. And, yeah, they're taking on Texas. They're coming after you, Megan Price. So I can't wait for that matchup. Going to have a conversation with the Queen of Hoops there. But I'm going to have to get her on the show. We're going to talk a little hoops. But, yes, for Thanksgiving, yeah. And hey, there'll be a Pitchfork Lunch show on Thanksgiving. So yes, we will definitely have that. Yeah. So, but that's their Thanksgiving, holiday weekend. They are in, like I said, U.S. Virgin Islands taking on Texas, South Florida, and High Point, 23rd, 4th, and 5th. Like I said, 23rd is on ESPN Plus, and you can check it out on radio on AM 1060. And then the 24th, just radio itself, 24th and 25th on AM 1060. The first one is on ESPN Plus. I don't know if maybe the other games will be on ESPN Plus. It doesn't say it, so I'm doubting it. But you can definitely at least get the audio of the games there. And then they're also hosting their own classic, the Brienne January Classic, which is awesome. Sun Devil alum, Sun Devil great. Also played in the WNBA, played overseas, played in the WNBA. Just awesome. And that is December 1st and 2nd. And the teams that are going to be here are Temple, Xavier, Pacific, and obviously ASU. So, yeah, those games are Friday, December 1st and Saturday, December 2nd. And Friday, the games are at 4 and 7. Saturday, the games are at 1 and 4. So, again, just stuff to get on your calendar. Again, I'm not trying to rush the holidays or the end of the year, just putting stuff for you on your calendar. So, again, shout out to all the teams. I'm going to step aside when we get back. We're going to hear from Coach Hurley from yesterday, again, as we get ready for UMass Lowell and just what he's seen through the first two games. So I'll step aside, but more coming up here on Pitchfork Lunch. All right, we are back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratonito at Diablo00 is where you can find me on Twitter, the show, Facebook, YouTube at MVC005, at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Cat 005 on YouTube. Subscribe. You've missed a ton of shows. It's episode 52. Again, building. We're getting it out there. And yeah, so you want to get in on it too. Also, you know where to hit me up on X, the artist formerly known as Twitter, at Diablo00. Hit me up, questions, thoughts, fun facts you have. Again, there is no such thing to me personally as a worthless knowledge factor, y'all. None. Zero, zilch, nada, none. Because there are no worthless knowledge facts. There are none. So, anywho, yeah. But men's hoops, again, UMass Lowell, they're 1-1. Like I said, I lost to Mississippi State in the Barstool Invitational in Chicago. And then they took on Texas Southern. Almost said Stephen F. Austin. I don't know why I was saying Stephen F. Austin, but nonetheless, Texas Southern. Well, Stephen F. Austin is in Texas. Fair enough, right? But anyway, they beat Texas Southern 63-52. And just real quick, I mean, when we look at, the box score for the Devils, points wise, Frankie Collins had 13, Kamari Lance had 12, Jemiah Neal had 10, Sean Phillips Jr. had 7, Zane Meeks had 6, Alonzo Gaffney, again, coming off his injury and like what he's been able to do, and coach addresses that. We'll get to them. He had 4. Jose Perez, who I talked about, I mean, he had 5 points. So yeah, I mean, they're getting to know each other, but yeah, we also will hear from Jemiah Neal and Zane Meeks too after Coach Hurley. But yeah, I just want to get that to you. So without further ado, here is Sun Devil men's head coach. No. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. I didn't touch a thing, and that was technology. So if I was frozen on your screen for a minute, apologies. But sorry about that. Like I said, we're going to hear from Coach Hurley right right now from yesterday. Again, talking about the team. And like I said, we'll hear from Zane Meeks and Jemiah Neal as well. But we'll hear from Coach Hurley first, but obviously about the first 2 games, getting guys in, the Ray Anderson situation, NIL. Yeah. So, but again, focusing on this year's team. So without further ado, here is head coach Bobby Hurley.
But we add Jose, and then that's there's an adjustment to that, and because he's a unique type of player, and I think it's worth the adjustment because in the long run he's really going to make us better, and there'll be a little bit of growing pains with it in the interim until we really start figuring it out.
Have you heard anything about Adam Miller?
We have not heard anything about Adam's status yet.
You had talked before about how last year you got guys like Devin played a lot, and these guys are they're younger, not as tested. So do you think that's kind of the biggest reason why the offense has been slower to come around?
The experience of those players, and again, Warren and Dez played together. You know, Devin and Dez are brothers, so there was a natural connection, even though and then there was 6 guys returning on that team. So this team's a little different that way, and it's still, we're still finding our rhythm, certainly on offense, and how the ball is going to be moved. And I mean, I said it after the last game, even for Jemiah, just a new role. As much as he's done in the off season, it's still an adjustment in real time in the game. But I'm not like overly disappointed. I would love to have performed better against Mississippi State, but I think we took a little bit of a step versus Texas Southern, and hopefully what I'm seeing in practice translates, to the floor tomorrow.
How much would you say that you're strategically similar to last year offensively?
I think that we could do a little bit more in terms of guys like Jose and Kamari getting them the ball in the mid post, even Jemiah with the right matchups with their size on the wing. That's I think the one difference, that we're still trying to get used to that. I think Warren was a little more seasoned than Sean, but I still really like when we throw the ball to him. I think good things will happen. And he's a willing passer, so, and then you have Frankie and Jemiah. So, I think there are some differences. We would probably be running Dez off a lot of screens and DJ and maybe a little more ball screen, but, I think we're slightly subtly different, but I still think long term, we're not going to be, I think over time the numbers will work themselves out. So we're not going to be as bad as we are on offense, the rest of the way.
You mentioned after the win on Saturday, wasn't maybe the normal level of celebration you guys would have in there after a win. Is that kind of hunger and drive what maybe led to this couple of good practices you said you felt like?
I think, we've shown that we could, in some of these scrimmages and in Europe, really, really promising moments, and even in the offseason overall. So I think that there is a hope and a confidence that we can be really good. We just haven't done it yet. So we're, even though you win a game like that, you certainly want to win, because if you look just about every night, there are teams falling to lower Division I opponents, and so the fact that we're able to get a win and have more film to watch and starts getting better on the floor, and you could just say, hey, let's get better, and keep talking about let's get better, but you actually have to go and do it with real action on the floor, and that's what I liked about the last 2 days. And certainly UMass Lowell has our full attention, and I told our players yesterday that I wouldn't be surprised to see them win that game last night, because I watched them play versus Dartmouth and totally took them apart in their first Division I game. So we have a legitimate opponent that has an experienced guard play. They were 26-8 last year. So we're hopeful for a great crowd, a great home court advantage tomorrow night, and because it's a good basketball team we're playing tomorrow night.
I think it surprised a lot of us at the beginning of the year that Gaffney would play based on how you described his injury. Where is he at in terms of recovery, and how is he just 80%, 100%?
Yeah, I mean he has been moving like himself, and I had to see that before I put him out there, because I would never put him out there risking this whole season or his future, because this is all he has left. And So if I didn't feel like I saw that enough prior to Mississippi State, I wouldn't have done it. Now I think where he had a hard time was just missing all that time, and then maybe out of sync at the offensive end, the shooting and different things. He's been shooting the ball so much better in workouts in this off season. It hasn't really come to fruition yet in a game. But today he had like a ridiculous like reverse dunk on a lob. So it was like him getting off his feet, and his movement is pretty normal right now.
What does it say about him? Just how quickly he was able to get over that and push through?
Yeah, I mean he's a freak really, because I've played and I know, like, I've had injuries. So when I looked at that injury the day after it happened, I was thinking it could be season ending maybe. It was really swollen and in the wrong type of areas and things. So it was scary, and we got great news with all the imaging, but he really put his head down and worked hard. I think some of it is him being young and just his body, recovering faster.
And when you're talking about the offense, obviously Jose coming in late, but going from, like you said, obviously all that time you had getting ready for the season, but from games back to practice, I mean, granted, I know it's only been 2 games, but like you said in these practices, what have you seen the growth in the offense of these guys even just adjusting to each other?
Well, there's enough good players that good things will happen if we have the right intentions, the right purpose, and there's trust there. And I think that's what, guys are still kind of figuring out how to trust each other the way they need to on the floor, and just continue to make the extra pass. I think some of it was against Mississippi State. We really kind of put our head down and like, I'm gonna do it. And I don't think it was born in selfishness. It was more of like, hey, I want to make something happen for the team. I think we just have to have a touch more of a willingness to be patient and just trust each other out there on the floor.
I know you talked about this on the radio, but just with Ray's departure, just any additional thoughts that you might have?
I mean, I stand by what I said on the radio. Just the thankfulness and grateful that Ray saw something in me that was special enough to bring me out here. It's been, Arizona State has been such a big part of my life, for the last almost 10 years now, and just he made that a reality for me. And a lot of coaches don't get the opportunity that I was given to be in this spot that I am in, and I owe it all to Ray. And so I want him to be happy and just enjoy the rest of his life, whatever he's going to continue to do. But I'm very thankful that he gave me this opportunity.
Do you see this as an opportunity for ASU or its fans? The Sun Angel Collective has doubled its membership already in just a span of a few days, and the impact that has and fan engagement NIL has on your success.
Yeah, I said it too. There's a reason that all across the country people think that we're a sleeping giant. It's the magnitude of our base and the depth of our base of alums and fans that all across the country, that we could be an unstoppable force if there is true unity at this moment, and we are getting behind like having the type of success that everyone envisions for football and men's basketball.
Do you have any thoughts about the characteristics that would make for a good AD here at ASU?
I mean, I think it starts with the ability to connect with the community, the ability to walk into a room and have a presence and be able to talk to people and get people engaged and get people behind athletics, and certainly someone that has gone through that process and has been in college athletics in an athletic department would I'm sure be helpful.
Coach, back to your team's play on the other end of the court. Texas Southern, y'all were pressing them, forcing out of bounds turnovers, steals. Are you guys looking, compared to last year's team, and obviously losing a lot of experience, losing all those guys to the portal, what is it looking like defensively, like as a unit right now? Are you guys, you think, capable to play as you guys did last year with that kind of defensive first mindset, or is it just kind of just like too early to tell in the season?
Well, I mean, we want to be able to sit down and guard people without gimmicks, and we want to be able to be, active, and we have good team speed, and to be able to get deflections, create turnovers, that gets us in the open court. We have guys that I think excel in transition. don't want to have to solely rely on picking up and trapping in order to make that a reality. So we got to figure out a way to do it, with aggression and in the half court, getting multiple stops. As you start playing teams, especially we get to, I mean, our non-conference is one thing, but imagine trying to trap USC. It's just not gonna be good. I mean, with Boogie Ellis and Collier and the guys they have, it just doesn't make sense. So like we have to naturally be able to just one-on-one sit down and get stops and guard people, and that's why we were an NCAA tournament team last year, because of our commitment to doing that.
And speaking of like your non-con tournament teams, y'all are playing, Northwestern, you played Mississippi State, Lowell's really good. You guys have all these tournament teams before you get into the Pac-12, and Frankie said like those games last year helped him prepare for playing like Arizona, USC, Oregon.
Yeah.
What do you think going into this year? Like, how will this prepare you for your final Pac-12 slate, like playing these tournament teams early?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a pretty consistent commitment to trying to schedule well and play hard games. I don't think that that's any different this year in terms of those specifically neutral site opportunities. Playing Mississippi State next week, going to Vegas, playing BYU and either NC State or Vanderbilt, and then it's TCU and Northwestern here. So there's a lot of opportunities against other power conference programs to not only like to get quality wins, but then also test yourself so you kind of have a feel for what you have when you go to conference play.
We haven't talked to you since you got your guys signed, but it looks like you went for size. Like, that's a big signing class.
It is. Our strategy will not be consistent. It's this year. I think we connected very well with the high school crop, and I'm not sure if that's just coming out of COVID and putting that behind us, or the NCAA tournament spotlight. But we had better traction with some top prospects, and we knew, when Zane Meeks is gonna graduate, Alonzo Gaffney's gonna graduate, that whole position, so we have to be able to secure, long-term answers, for our front court. So that was a priority.
Did any of that have to do with the Big 12? And you and I had talked before about recruiting differently going into the physically bigger Big 12?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, there were some guys that we did recruit in that core that we signed that we just had a connection with, that we were able to bring in here, and they happen to have good size to them. So I mean, that's a part of it, but also that what you're saying is accurate. Just the physicality of that league, the athleticism, and that is significant. So we got to make sure that we're prepared for it.
You tapped into the prep schools locally, and that's something you've done in the past. Is that how much of a positive factor is that?
There's probably no state in the country that their prep school basketball is any better and deeper than here. So we have to really focus on that. It was good to us. This guy sitting over there from this school called Hillcrest that's right here in the back. This guy Jemiah Neal. So like we're gonna try and focus on those schools, and we're right here and they're in our backyard. It makes total sense, and the players are coming in from all over the country. So even if they end up going somewhere else, like in the case of Sean Phillips, he's on the rebound, he wanted to come back, and so and Kamari Land, same thing. So we're gonna make sure we try and do a good job with those schools.
Even though maybe it's not supposed to be like this, how much does NIL come into the conversation with transfers or even with high school recruiting at this point?
I would say, depending on what type of caliber recruit you're talking about in the high school ranks, it's very significant. I mean, think about like the top tier McDonald's All-American type guys, absolutely. And then it kind of depends where you stand after that. But in the transfer portal, it matters. Everybody has a list of what's important to them. I think I talked about Jemiah Neal. Jemiah Neal trusted what his situation would be and how it could help him for his future, and he did factor in NIL to that, but it wasn't the number one on his list. Now other guys that maybe isn't the case, and I would say a vast majority it is one of the most important things.
Does it make it tougher to identify which guys are the right fits for who you're trying to bring in when there's that part of it out there.
Well, you have to just know, like, what, if they're talking about, like, numbers that are insane, then you just move on. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, we're gonna be active, picking up the phone, calling kids. We have to be, identify kids and players that wanna be here, that money isn't their number one priority right now, because we do have to grow that and get better, just as Kenny and Willie touched on. I'm in the same kind of boat. We have to do better, and I'll do whatever I can. I'll do my part to talk to whoever I have to talk to explain, you know, how important that's going to be moving forward.
And there he is, Coach Hurley. I mean, again, Chris Cartman asking him that, and that was going to literally when it shifted that way, and it was asked about recruiting in the Big 12. And my follow-up was, what is the challenge in when you sit with a recruit like that, if you feel that's the most important thing to him? But I mean, come on. He's one of the greatest college basketball players of all time. He's from Jersey. Of course, he eloquently answered it. But truthfully, I mean, again, not all kidding aside, when you look at that, you know, it's true. I mean, yes, it is part of the game, the landscape, and Ray Anderson leaving. And yes, I will touch more on that tomorrow. Also next week, going to have former Sun Devil women's head coach on, great friend of all my programs, and just being around her throughout the years. Just, again, the way coaches can always coach, man. They see things that you don't. But Charlie Turner Thorne will join us on Wednesday here on Pitchfork Lunch. So, I mean, again, get on board, y'all. Put it in the calendar. 12 to 1 every day, Monday through Friday, Pitchfork Lunch. But no, for Coach Hurley, I mean, he's right. You're going to need an athletic director going in that direct that understands that. But it can't be the most important thing, because, again, when we get on that, I'm not going to go down this rabbit hole, because I want to get to Jemiah Neal and Zane Meeks from Sun Devil Hoops as well. But yes, it's within recruiting and, you know, NIL, like, yeah, it's there, but it's not just like, oh, okay, you got recruited out of high school, here you go. So transfer portal, again, it's a bit different, but yes, it does have an effect, and we'll see where we go. But yeah, so now on the player side, but yeah, I mean, Coach said a lot there, and it's you know, the way they played. I love this thing about trapping USC. Like, I mean, you're not trying to give your game plan away, and but we all got what he was saying, because it might be. I mean, yeah, you might got to try, you know, maybe off a made hoop, you know, you got him backed up, got him there. Maybe you try it once, twice. If it doesn't work, then yeah. No, but I mean, seeing what he's saying there, you know, your team has to fit two things and step up on a defensive level. And early in the season, you know, when the offense might not be there. And Jemiah Neal actually talked about that from last season. So anyway, but I'll go to that. So yes, without further ado, Zane Meeks and Jemiah Neal.
All right, open up the questions. Just distinguish who you're asking the question to.
Zane, Bobby had said that you'd missed some practices, you're a little banged up or whatever. Can you just walk us through kind of what happened and how you're feeling now?
Yeah, I just, you know, kind of when I first got out here, I had a little bit of a foot injury, and that's why I wasn't able to play overseas. And, you know, that's just kind of life in basketball. You know, you take your hits as they come, and, you know, just trying to do whatever I can to get back on the court in full strength now.
You feel 100% now?
Yeah, I'm absolutely 100% now. No question.
Can you guys talk about maybe your improvement from the first game to the second game, and where you want to improve most now from the second game to this game?
Well, I mean, it's the first game with a new team, right? You know, we practice for all these months, then you kind of roll it out there one time, and you really get a sense of kind of what we need to work on and what we, you know, where we excel at. I can to get back on the court in full strength now.
You feel 100% now?
Yeah, I'm absolutely 100% now. No question.
Can you guys talk about maybe your improvement from the first game to the second game, and where you want to improve most now from the second game to this game?
Well, I mean, it's the first game with a new team, right? You know, we practice for all these months, then you kind of roll it out there one time, and you really get a sense of kind of what we need to work on and what we, you know, where we excel at. And, you know, I think it's frankly pretty obvious after the last 2 games where we're at. And the first to second game jump is really just about comfortability, you know, right? Like, we've done it already. You know, we went to Chicago, we played, so coming back home and playing, you know, our latest game, I think it's just the nerves are way less than they would be.
Yeah, just to piggyback off what Zane said, you know, the first game wasn't so hard, but, you know, it's a long season and you just got to go game by game. And right now we're just trying to get 1% better every day. So it might not look pretty right now, but as long as it looks good when we need to look good, then I'm not too worried about it.
Do you think the shooting just kind of unusually, like not what you normally would do as a team and through the first couple of games compared to what we'll see moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully. I hope so. I think we're a way better shooting team than we're showing right now. I just think we got to get more acclimated with each other on the court as far as ball movement and togetherness and really knowing each other's spots and tendencies. And I think once we set ourselves up to be in positions to get better shots and take better shots, then the percentages will even out.
What do you think, Jemiah, about like what you guys were trying to do offensively last year, especially, you know, you have the Cambridge brothers versus like right now?
Last year we're a deep athletic team, and we got up and down. You know, we got the nickname Lob U. We got a lot. We piggybacked off our defense. I mean, shooting. I wouldn't say shooting was really our strength last year either. We always just played defense that got on a transition, and I think in the first game we got away from that. We were kind of soft and we let them kind of be the abusers on defense, and that's usually what we do to people. So last game we got out. We were in transition. We got steals. We got dunks, and we kind of got back to each other. And I think the offense will get better as the season goes on.
Zane, you mentioned how you guys practice and you roll it out there and you see what you got. Now that you have those 2 games, you have the film, what's kind of stood out the most maybe?
Offensively or defensively?
Just as a whole for the team.
We're talented. There's no question about that. You know, through 15, we have so much talent. You know, I think really just fitting those puzzle pieces together is the hardest part. You know, and we're on game 3, you know, hopefully we make it to game 37, 38, you know, down in April. So, you know, it's not it's a work in progress, fitting everything together. And by the time, you know, March, April rolls around, you want to be, you know, flying or I guess firing on all cylinders.
This one's kind of for whoever wants to take it, but, you know, Hurley's bringing in a top 20 recruiting class next season. Meeks, I know you're going to be gone, but for both of you guys, when you guys were considering coming to ASU and Hurley was saying come down to Tempe, what was the process like? Him, you know, introducing you to Tempe, you see palm trees and whatever it is, like, was it an easy buy, or did he kind of take, like, when he was trying to sell you on it, like, how was that process for you guys coming in to be a Sun Devil?
Well, for me, I graduated in 2021, so it was COVID, so I didn't get to take not one visit. I've never seen any other campus. I didn't even see this campus till I got here. So I was on Zoom, so it was just like Coach Hurley said about the relationships that we built, you know, through those phone calls and that type of stuff that really sold, you know, Arizona State. I didn't really get to see that, but once the recruits that are coming in, when they came on the visits and stuff, we made sure to show them a good time, you know, show them around campus and really get to know them and that type of stuff.
But you did play at Hillcrest, so
I
you kind of
did.
knew the area a little bit.
A little bit, but it's not like I was really on campus like that.
I mean, for me, it's kind of twofold. I played here my junior year, and then, I don't know, I mean, you know this, I was roommates with Des my freshman year at Nevada, so I've known Des forever. And then I played with Warren also at Nevada, and then Zoe and I played together in high school. So for me, you know, Coach Hurley kind of hit me with his pitch, but my calls were to, you know, Des, Warren, and Zoe, like, you know, shoot me straight, you know, what's it like going on down here? And I got great reports from all of them. And so that was really more mine. You know, the weather's awesome. I mean, I can't complain.
Jemiah, how much is NIL really a factor now? I mean, Warren, Dev, they had other options. You know, you, I'm sure, had options. You talk to guys around the country about this. Like, how much are decisions being made because of the NIL piece?
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but for me personally, it's about the love of the game of basketball for me, and that's what I care about the most. The joy in playing my game and playing freely and playing how I want to play. Money can't buy that for me, so I just feel like for me it's more about basketball and getting to where I want to get to out of basketball, getting what I want to get out of basketball. It's not really about now kind of looking at the future and where basketball could take me in life, and not just a quick buy right now.
So there's potential, I'm not saying anybody specifically, but there's some potential for guys to make short-sighted decisions, you think?
Yeah, like I said, I don't really know what everybody else is thinking. I don't know everybody's situation with their family and all that type of stuff. But for me, I just feel like I'm more invested in my future and not right now.
Jemiah, Coach has talked about how you're taking on a new role, even though you've also been here. How's that transition been going? Just taking on kind of more of a load and being that experienced player.
Yeah, it's kind of different. Just having so many guys before me, kind of teaching me the ropes and coach not having to lean on me so much. So it's a different role, but I think I'm doing pretty good, and I think I'm trying to be a stitch in the coach and trying to help guys out as much as I can, and just trying to help us win games. That's all.
Zane, last game, Texas Southern, you had 9 minutes, I believe. You also had 6 points with those 2 triples from beyond the arc. I guess with this new role on the team after coming over from, Haight-Ashbury and stuff and being there at the Dons, what is Coach kind of telling you for like how you're going to slot in for possibly the rest of the year, or is it just like work hard in practice and you'll get more minutes and stuff?
I mean, I've been around a while. This is my 5th year, and I try to lead by example, and that is, stay ready. You don't have to get ready. I have certain strengths, and I think I bring a lot to the table with those certain strengths, and I have to produce for those certain strengths, and I have to make the team better. That's the end. It's not an individual game. There's 5 people on the court. I have to make the other 4 people on the court better. That is the end of that.
Anything else, guys?
Cool.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
So Zane Meeks and Jemiah Neal, you heard him. And yeah, I mean, the transfer portal look is going to be huge going forward. It is college sports as we know it. Basketball a little different. Guys that stick around, guys that aren't one and done. And yes, we still have the one and dones, and that desperately needs to change. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Like if they don't want to go to school, you're making them sit there for a year. Yes, you can go play other seasons now. Yes, there are stuffs with the G League. I get that, but the whole one and done thing. I mean, if they want to go to college, I always said you could easily turn it into baseball. Easily turn it into baseball. You have the right to go. You can work it out. Like if they go to the G League and that year is not good and they want to enroll back in school, like with NIL and stuff, it makes it much easier to do. So the things can be worked out. But as for what Jemiah Neal said, I love it. Like it was his. Knowing what Coach Hurley did. And yeah, Frankie and Jemiah both, had options and, he's asked obviously with the, Devin, Cambridge, Des, Cambridge, Warren, Washington, having opportunities. And it is going to be that double-edged sword, like transfer portal wise, but NIL, good, bad, or indifferent, like Coach Bloomquist said, when I played his sound from the other day from his signing presser, you don't have to like it, but he's just speaking the facts of it. And, how's it affecting recruiting? And does there need to be, oversight maybe on teams trying to, programs trying to, lure a player, take a player away? Yes, there does. But again, that's more of a conversation as we get into it with athletic directors. And the new athletic director, obviously Ray Anderson, stepping down. A lot of stuff broke yesterday. He's still getting his base salary because he's teaching at the Sandra Day O'Connor Law School. Yes, I'll get into all that. And again, I'm not brushing it aside because, yes, the payment of it, and it's Michael Crow's going to, people have obviously said a lot, and the ASU president. So it's going to be interesting, but we'll see. The interim AD now, but we'll see who. There's a search, and will it be a former coach? Will it be somebody that's been in an athletic department? But when I'm interviewing, I got to see, and people can say it all the time. Well, of course you got to see the hunger. No, you can be told what they think you want to hear. They're just telling you what you want to hear. Yeah, they can, spice it up, add some sugar to it, but nonetheless, we'll get to all that. So, but it flies. So, hey, again, tonight, men's hoops, UMass Lowell, 7 p.m. At Desert Financial Arena. It's also on the Pac-12 networks, and we'll go from there. Well, you can go check them out. 7 p.m. I suggest it. Women's hoops, they are taking on Grambling. They're on the road tonight as well. And then volleyball tomorrow, hockey tomorrow, football. Again, we'll talk more Oregon tomorrow too, as the Devils get ready to take that monster on, that powerhouse in Oregon. So we'll get to all of it. Everybody have a great rest of your Thirsty Thursday. Enjoy your all the Devil sporting events, because you have more than enough. So, but JJ Van Niel will join us tomorrow ahead of their match against Oregon. So stoked for that. So I'm going to get out of here. Everybody have a awesome Thursday, and you know it. As always, have a great day. Get out there, pitchfork lunchers, and as always, forks up.
Cherry's three. Johnny Walker mashing up against control. His shot. Bruce score, they score. They tie the game up 2-2. Recent drives out for Robbie Ryan. Her three right on the money. This is Taya Hansen for three. Other side of the rim with a pretty reverse. Wow. 5 seconds to go. Find Hawk. Hawk spins. It rolls off. And Arizona State wins it. Edward pulls off. And buries it. Daniels makes the shot.